Hey guys, welcome to video 3 in getting started in your LifeVantage business. And by now, you should have already been able to take a look at video step 1 and step 2, which is all about why are you here, connecting with and knowing exactly what it is you want to achieve by building your LifeVantage business. And that is not something that is set by us. That is 100% down to you. Our goal then is to help give you a plan to help you achieve it. Step 2 is talking about your goals. What do they look like? Grabbing a calculator, working it out financially, and then having a set specific goal that you're going to work to achieve. So this video, we're going to talk about building your database. Yeah, writing a list of people you know, and you might be thinking, why on earth is Lisa doing a video about writing a list? I can do that all on my own. Well, there's a difference between just writing a list and being a professional when it comes to collecting a database and having a long-term successful business here with LifeVantage. So I want you to, I'm going to dive into that. We're going to share some screens and we're going to dig into the details behind building a list like a professional. That funny noise you can hear by the side of me is my puppy. She's asleep right by my feet and snoring. So that is not me, by the way, in case you could hear that. Okay, so here's what I want you to understand. There are, should I say, 3 types of people that are going to join your business. And they are posers, amateurs, and professionals. So let's take a second and look into each of these. You may even find yourself in one of these categories. You are most certainly going to come across all of these categories as you start to build your business. So posers are people that you would generally look at the information. Maybe they're sat at your launch evening, or they jump on one of your launch calls or our weekly Wednesday webinar, and they are thinking, wow, this is really excited. I could get excited about this. And they can think mentally in their head about another couple of people who would be really excited. They're usually thinking about that lucky ticket. I know this person would do really well in that, and if I enroll them, that means I'm going to do really well. And they've got that kind of mentality going through their mind while they're taking a look at the information, and they end up registering, signing up, and then they go away, and those 3 or 4 people that they had in mind are not interested. They're not interested. And so what happens is usually they quit, they give up, they say it doesn't work, it's not for them. They make up lots of different excuses, and it's usually because they didn't have the right mindset when coming into it. Second type of person that you will come across is what we call amateurs. Now, these people are a little bit more committed. They approach it with a little bit more professionalism or enthusiasm or commitment as they get started. These people probably write a list of 100 people. They will take their time, go through, talk to them all, and as they start to get through that end of their list, they'll be thinking to themselves, oh my gosh, I have spoke to everybody I know. And by the way, this happens usually way before 100. It's after 10 or 15 people. And they're like, no one's interested. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if this is for me. And that is also, you find that a lot. You do. The next type of person that you come across is professionals. These are the people that when they've looked at the information, they've seen this with the mindset of a professional, of a business owner, right? So a business owner, they don't get chance to walk away. They don't get chance to give up if it's not going their way. They've usually invested a lot of money, and they have to get creative. They have to think out the box. They have to find new ways of working, new ways of thinking to make a business work. And that is the mindset you really want to have when looking at LifeVantage. And what you'll find is professionals in network marketing, they look at finding people to talk to and always having people to talk to as a skill. It's one of the top 7 skills that you will need to build in your business. And that is always having and finding people to talk to. A professional usually adds 1 or 2 people to their network every day. Today, for example, posted a little post on Facebook just about some great results that one of our team had from using the eye serum, and just a very indirect, it wasn't a salesy post, just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I can't believe the results from this. And, I had a great lady. She's actually a director of cabin crew for British Airways, messaged me out the blue and say, I'd really like to buy this product. Added her as a friend, had her as a message. She signed up as a new customer, but now I've added a new person today also into my network, right? So professionals are never worried about not having people to speak to. They understand that they get started with a list of everybody they know, and they also have a different mindset to how they approach them as well, which we're going to go into. And this is the mindset I encourage you. And if you've already started and you've already thinking, oh my gosh, I did that too, or that was running through my mind, don't worry, because you know what? It's okay to change your mind based on new information. So we can draw a line in the sand and start right here and say, you know what, I'm going to approach this like a professional. And you're going to come across posers, you're going to come across amateurs. This is going to help you also identify them as well. And I'll also go back to posers for a minute. There's an even higher level of posers. They won't even sign up. They'll say, right, okay, they'll give you the big talk. It's always the big talkers that do the least usually. And I never, ever, 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 ever go off what somebody tells me they're going to do. I always go off what I watch them and see what they actually do. And that is how I work and judge somebody's commitment. It's not by what they say. It's always by the action that they take, right? So you'll find these people there, oh, I know that, I've got some great people. I know these people that would be interested. They say, I'm going to go off, speak to them, and then we'll get started. So what happens is they go off, they talk to those couple of people. Number 1, they have no idea what they're talking about because they haven't been trained. Number 2 is they obviously are not going to have the right impact and the right approach a lot of the time. Those people are not interested, so they never sign up. And that is what happens a lot. So be aware that it's nothing personal. It's nothing to do with your lack of skill set. It's nothing to do with you personally. This happens to, Pro 10s, Pro 7s in LifeVantage all the time. But you have to approach your business like a professional. You've got to learn to really help your other people understand this as well. And really finding people is a skill. Finding and always having people to talk to is a skill that you're going to learn to nurture and develop as you start to grow with us here. So that just to give you a little bit of a heads up and help you identify this, because some people don't realize this and they think it's all because of them and that they can't do this. And they let the actions of others knock them out of the water. But I want you to know this is normal. And you want to make sure you're looking for professionals and that you've got the mindset of a professional with your business as well. Aim to go pro. So aim to be a professional and aim to approach building your list with a long-term mindset, with that of a business owner that can't just walk away because they don't feel like it or it's not going their way. And always be looking at finding people to talk to as a skill. So building your database like a pro. Well, the first thing that you want to do, step 1, and this is only a short training, is you want to create what we call an active candidate list. And we call it an active candidate list because when you first start talking to people, they're not always interested, but things change in their finances, in their life situations. And I never take anybody off my list, even if initially they're not interested, whether it be a new product launches and I think it might be for them, or something great happens in the business and I just go back and share it with them, or I just go and talk to them about how fantastic their outfit is today. But I'll always keep people in contact and in communication on a sincere basis as well, because I would generally want to build the relationships first, and that's what you should always be doing with your network and database. So every single person you know is who you put on this list. And I know that a lot of you are thinking, because it happens all the time, we say, okay, go write a list of people so we can start launching your business. And generally, most people will write a list of the people who they think are interested. The people that they think are going to be interested. And that is the biggest way to set yourself up for disappointment. You are not God. And it is not your decision to decide if somebody is going to be interested in this or not. That is not your decision. It is also not your job to go out and convince anybody that this is the right thing for them. So have complete and utter unattachment to whether people are going to either join your business or try your product. We don't care. We care, but we're not attached to whether they are or not. We're not offended if they're not interested or if it's not for them, because guess what? 80 to 90% of the people that you talk to, it's not going to be for them. So go into it with that understanding, okay? You might have to talk to 9 people who are not interested to find that one who really is and is going to do either great things in your business or use the product for the rest of their life. But just be on the understanding of that. So what you're going to do is you're going to write a list of every single person that you have ever met. Don't worry about what we're going to do with that list right now. It's an exercise. Treat it as an exercise, a memory contest. But you're going to write a list of every single person that you have ever met. People you went to school with. People you've worked with in the past. People you, mums at school, parents of your children, people who offer you different services like insurance, and the lady at the bank that takes care of your bank account, and all these different, these people that you would know in all different areas. Maybe you had a hobby and there's people that you knew and met in those groups from there. This is a exercise, and it's basically a task to go and write a list without thinking about what you're going to do with that list. Use it as an exercise, as your memory. Who are all the people I've ever met in life? And then when you do the exercise and you pull out your piece of paper or your notepad and you get your pen and you're like, right, okay, I'm going to build my list. Think to yourself, I want you to think like I've said to you, go write a list, and for every name that you can put on that list, I am going to give you £100. Right? I know that I'm like, okay, grab my pen. I'm going to write and write and write and write and write. And I'll get to a point where like, okay, that's it. And then, okay, think some more. And, there are things that you can use to jog your memory. There's actually a great memory jogger by Eric Warrer, which you can get hold of. And I would definitely suggest using that. It's really great. But initially, you won't need other things because you're going to have at least 30 to 50 without even raising your head that you can write names of, right? And so I want you to write down your list of names without any attachment to what we're going to do with it, as a memory exercise to write a list of everybody that you have ever met in your life. Write it like I'm giving you £100 for every single name you write down. How many names are you going to put on that list? If you were getting £100 for every single name on the list, how many names would you have on there? All right? And really what it is, it's dump your memory or dump your mind of anyone you have ever met out on paper. So that is step one, is without condition, without attachment to what we're going to do with the list. I want you to literally dump your mind of everybody you have ever met in your life and put it on a piece of paper. Start with 30, 50 in the beginning. Now, that, what I've just explained to you right now, if you're just getting started, is all I want you to focus on. Now, if you're listening to this and you've been in the business for a while, these steps, what I'm going to teach you right here, might be something that you want to work on. And they also might be, if you're thinking, well, you're a recluse. Like you've been, I don't know, home with the kids, or like I was when I first got started. I was working 40, 50 hours a week. I was a single mom with 2 kids. And I didn't have a social life. I had a few friends on Facebook, and I connected with a lot of people that I met over the years on Facebook. And I had my couple of friends who I went out with at a weekend, and that was it. And, you know, you can ask my uplines. When we spoke on the phone for the first time in my last business where I had a lot of success, I said, I have no idea. I have no one to bring to the table with the business, but I'm committed to finding them. And so these things right here might be, if you've been in the business for a while, maybe a year, maybe 12 months, 2 years, or with a long-term mindset of how you're going to do this. Or if you generally do have a really restricted list of people when you first get started, then one of the next things that you can do is use the second degree of separation. And that is, for every person on your list, think about who do they know? Who do they know? And then start to expand your list that way. And think about all the relationships in your life. Who do they know? Who do they know? And go and put them on your list. Another thing that you want to think about is, with your business, what countries is your business operating in? So if our business, for example, right now is in the US, it's in Canada, Australia, Hong Kong, the Philippines, Thailand, the UK, and the Netherlands. So also think about who do you know in each of those countries. You can go to your Facebook list, and you can actually go through all of your friends list just to refresh your memory of everybody you know. You can actually also print out a list of all of your Facebook information, including your friends list, in your settings in your back office. So I think it's under personal information. I'll work that out for you. But you can do that. And then the other thing is, most of your contacts, especially have a smartphone nowadays, are going to be in here. They're going to be in your phone. Go to contacts and scroll through, and there'll be people's numbers in there you didn't even know they had, because they pulled in through your Gmail or your Google account or your Facebook or one of your other social media accounts. And you will have a list of people in your phone. And the average person knows about 200 to 2,000 people. The average adult knows between 200 to 2,000 people. Not people that they want to join their business, people who they know and have met. I don't care how scary they are, how unapproachable they are, how much more successful they are than you, and you want to skip them out because you don't think they would listen to you. Put them on your list, because there's someone in your organization, your upline, your team, that is an expert, that has the confidence and does know how to have these people at least just take a look at what we're doing. Okay, so that is something that you can use after you've done step 1. So do that step 1 first, right? Don't skip that part. It's really important. Later on, when you're expanding your list, you can use the second degree of separation. Also in your beginning list, you can think about the different countries. And so those are some of the principles that I would use to start building your list. You also want to think about consistently expanding that list. And as I said before, professionals are always going about or have an aim of adding 2 new people to their network every day. It could be people they met in the school playground. It could be 2 people they met on Facebook, on social media that they connected with online. It could be someone you met on the train that day. And what they do is they're very clever at finding ways to stay in touch, connect, and build a relationship with those people. And here's what I know. If you talk to someone about them, ask questions about them, be genuinely, not fake, genuinely interested in them, what they do, what's going on in their life, what do they do for a living, do they love it, would they prefer to do something else, what would they do with their life if money and time was no object. If you generally fact find and be interested in people, eventually they're going to ask you about you, or they're going to give you the information that you know later on you can go back to and say, hey, you know the conversation we had, were you serious when you said, you were looking for a way to leave your job? Well, I might have something that you would be interested in taking a look at. So professionals are always finding a way to connect and build relationships with those people. And so a pro thinks about building their list, as we said, as a key skill, as a core skill in their business. And once you switch your mindset, took me a long time to get this. I was stuck for 2 years in the few people that I thought I knew that would be interested for 18 months. And I made no money during that time. But once I switched my mindset to thinking like a professional, to the mindset of, I don't know who they are, but I'm committed to following the guidance and doing what you said and putting this into action without any fear, then things will start to happen for you. And it is a massive release for you. And you will find once you do this, that this business is way easier than you initially thought it was going to be with your list of 5 to 12 friends. So you want to make sure that you're always expanding that list. Think about this. 6 days a week, if you were to find 2 new people, that's not even including your initial list, what you got started with. If you introduce 6 new people a week over the period of a year, that's 624 new people that you have to talk to. Out of 624 people, I would say, no matter if you're really unskilled, just getting started, your presentation is terrible, which it is in the beginning. We've all got to do it, right? Don't practice on your best leads, okay? Because it'll be rough in the beginning. And you've got to do it and do it and do it until you get better, unfortunately. So everybody's got to go through that part. But if you look at that, that's approximately 62 people that are interested. And to go Pro 7 in this company, I reckon that you probably have to personally enroll 32 distributors to go Pro 7. So if you have spoke to 624 people out of 62, some of them are going to want to be customers, some of them are going to want to be distributors, okay? So when you think of it and you change your mindset to, oh, I'm going to give this a go, and you switch it to, I am going to learn the skills that professionals use to make a full-time additional income, something that pays all their bills, or those people that are making $10,000 a month and those people that are making $1 million a year in this industry. Once you switch to committing your mindset to that and not just giving this a go, you'll start to see that this business is a lot easier than you thought it was going to be. So now you can see why professionals do not worry about finding or having people to speak to. Because I know that even if my list is run out, I'm like, oh, everybody had it on my list, I've already spoke to them. I don't ever worry because every day I'm adding people into that list, so the list never ends. And I'm always willing to be more creative and more skillful and learn from other people and go on a course to find out better ways to upskill myself in that area. So be an intentional networker. So other than, start writing your list, going through your Facebook and your phone and your memory jogger, get out there and have fun. This business really is about knowing and liking people, getting to know people genuinely, like making friends and new people. Go to local events. Go to meetup.com and find groups that you have a genuine interest in and go meet new people there. Volunteer for causes that you're interested in. There'll be a lot of great people that you can connect and expand your network with. Networking groups, toddler groups, the school playground. As a corporate mom, I was never in the school playground. I was dropping my children off at the end of the drive because I had to be on the motorway to an appointment and I didn't have time to walk up, stand there, wait for the teacher to bring them in. And, that might sound bad to some of you who really believe that's a value, but that was how I had to live my life, unfortunately, for a long time. But now, and so the playground was an uncomfortable place for me to be because I wasn't one of those mummies. But now I've got my 3-year-old. I know that when he goes to school, I will be the number one person in that in that playground. And I don't really honestly mean that from an insincere point of view. Like, I'm generally just interested now in meeting more people and who they can introduce you to and who they know and what groups they go to. And there's a great saying that me and Vicky were a conversation we were having the other day, and Vicky Chavarin, she's a Pro 5, Success Leaves Clues. This is somebody who's had a lot of success already in LifeVantage. She's like, I go everywhere. I go to everything. Why? Well, even at the opening of an envelope, you will meet new people. She has a crazy social schedule. And so does Lara Zimmerman, another Pro 5 in this organization. And she has a hectic schedule. She'll go out and she'll be like, I'm in a dinner party tomorrow night. And I'm like, I know that she's going to come home with a new customer from a dinner party just by having an informal chat and meeting people. So find places and organizations where you can meet new people. Be creative about it. Ask other people. If you think about if you were new to the area, how would you go out and build new friends? Add them to your list. Develop relationships. Find out more about them. Find out what their pain is. Find out. And then when the time is right, you can show them, what it is that you do and have to offer when the time is right. One of the things I'll do is I'll meet somebody, I'll add them into my Facebook friends list, for example, and then I make sure that the posts that I put out there are really focused for them to see what it is I do and who I am in a really indirect and professional way. And then often they'll ask me, wow, what is this? What is that? The lady that I connected with today, never met her before, but she reached out to me and was like, this looks really exciting. Hey, where do I get hold of this? And, she's now in my network. And I'm like, oh my goodness, rapport immediately. Like, you work for BA. I need a BA friend. I fly to the US 3 or 4 times a year with my business, and I could do with a friend in BA. And she's like, well, now you've got one. I'm the director of cabin crew. I'm like, what? So, also, knowing people allows you to access lots of different great benefits and skills and tools and connections that you would never have as well. So I hope that out of that, really you've taken something away that's going to help you go away. If you're not already, like writing down those names, scribbling them, other people that you hadn't ever thought of are now coming to your mind, then I hope that's helped you in some way. And I'd love for you to comment and post and let me know what your outtakes, or, get in touch and let me know what you like most about the list building section of your training. Now, action steps. There's absolutely waste of your time for the last 15, 20 minutes watching this if you are going to do nothing with it. The only time that your business will move forward is when you take action on the steps that we've gone through. So I want to give you a few steps to go away with. Number 1 is I want you to go away and write your first list of your first 30 names. If that's really easy for you, push to 50 or 100. Okay? Then I want you to move on to the inviting training. Use some of the skills we've talked about in here to go build that list. And then step 2 is going to be to move to the video 4, which is going to be about what you're going to then do with that list and how we're going to invite people in a very professional, unoffensive way to take a look at what it is we're doing here, which is good work, by the way. Number 3 is then work to expand that list. Work to be adding someone in every day. Keep it in one place, be organized, have a spreadsheet or a notebook, whatever works best for you. I use notes on my phone for everything. And then over the time that you're here with LifeVantage, become a professional. Add people on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. Even if you're part-time, 98% of people join this business part-time. They have a full-time job or a career that they're already working with. This is stuff that you can do as you're going about your business every single day. So that is video number 3, building your database. I hope you got value from that. Go out, take action on it, and I'll see you on the next video about what we're going to then do with that list.